Welcome to New Business in Later Life with me, Ildiko Sealey. I'm an entrepreneur, the routine queen, and the champion of thriving over 50. I'm obsessed with morning routines, energized living, and building businesses that work with your life, not against it. Each week, I share real-life stories from bold later life entrepreneurs who have said no thanks to retirement and hell yes to reinvention, while discussing good health routines for great business. Whether you are launching your first venture or scaling your encore, you are in the right place. Let's get you fired up, focused, and firmly in the driver's seat of your next chapter. Let's dive in. This episode is a little different, but only in a way that I'm interviewing my husband. He fits the guest requirements of having started a new business in later life, so I thought why not, and invited him to the studio. Daniel could give Bear Grylls a run for his money, having been nicknamed the Swiss Army knife. Surviving in the wild, in a previous life he was thriving in the world of mouldings, British Museum archives and home makeovers. By 25 he was already a company director with 28 employees. He sailed tour ships in the Caribbean, wandered through Australia and New Zealand and ran an actual bird empire. But think chickens, ducks and peacocks, he had over 1,000 of them. After years of swinging hammers and mastering power tools, he founded Cornflower Kitchens and Bathrooms, a business that's all about quality, honesty, and hand-picked products. These days, Daniel is keen to scale up his business while collaborating with local trades and developers. So let's dive into a life that's anything but flat-pegged. Please welcome today's guest, Daniel Sealey. Good morning, Daniel. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. So let's jump straight in. Please tell our listeners, how old were you when you set up your most recent business and what this business is?
So my most recent business is Cornflower Kitchens and Bathrooms. So I set that up when I was 50.
You know, when near retirement, as I'm being told myself, that at the age 50, I'm only young. But how do you find that you are starting a new business effectively in the later stage of your life?
It was a continuation of my old business, really.
Okay.
So from that point of view, it was just specialising, and it's almost just making life a little bit easier for me and less physically demanding.
Is that why you specialised in this business now? Because it was having a physical toll on you?
It was, and so I was doing general home improvements, and when you reach the age of 50, moving 60-kilo patio slabs around becomes a bit harder on the body.
So tell us a little bit more about your current business.
With the general home improvements, I'd been able to do just about anything. So whether it be decking, fencing, garden buildings, decoration, kitchens and bathrooms included in that. I find that just specialising in one thing lets you focus on it much better.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did you find yourself as a bit of a jack of all trades and master of none?
Very much so. I used to describe myself as a Swiss Army knife. So I could do any of the different things, but you wouldn't necessarily use me for the big tasks.
Okay. And do you find that now you are able to be much more of a master of the kitchens and bathrooms?
Well, definitely. And by getting a contracting team in place that can deal with anything, that I can focus on the business and focus on working on the business rather than in the business.
So how do you find that, removing yourself from the customers?
Well, you don't remove yourself from the customers, because I'm still the first port of call, and I'm the person that, if there's any issues, I'm the person they come to.
That's fair enough. Only you don't do the heavy lifting and shifting anymore.
Exactly. Because the other thing is, other people who specialise in these trades all the time are much quicker at doing these things. I like to think I've got a good eye for detail.
Yes.
And I do a really good job, but I'm not the fastest person.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. But
so other people can, when you're working in people's houses, the quicker you do a job, the less time you're interrupting them and getting in the way of their life.
It sounds really nice that you recognise your weakness and fill that gap somehow to make sure that you provide a better service.
Yeah.
That sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
So what led you to this point? What other things in your life led you to this point?
Getting older was one of one of those things. But also, when you're self-employed and just working on a project yourself, you can only earn one income.
Yeah.
So even if you're doing really well and really good at it, you only earn one person's income for it.
Right.
Whereas if I've got a contracting team that can install 5 kitchens a month, then we can work on multiple projects at the same time and scale it.
Yeah,
One person working on their own is not scalable.
Yeah, that's true. So you got to the stage of your life when you want to grow a business beyond just yourself. Have you been in this situation before?
I've been self-employed from the age of about probably 18 or 20.
Okay.
And running factories. And so I got into the family business when I was around 18. It took a bit of a break to go off, do a bit of traveling around the world, which was rather fun.
That sounds interesting. What did you do?
So I went off to the Caribbean and learnt to sail a tall ship.
Sounds fascinating.
Well, it's certainly a place to get stories from.
Yeah, definitely. Go on. Would you like to share any?
Oh, most of them involve quite a lot of the native rum. One particular rum that was called Jack Iron, it was 80% strength. And the locals say, don't hit the jack hit back.
Yeah. Is that when you kind of hit the floor after one?
Yeah, some of the people on the boat were still drunk the following morning.
Oh my word. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with business. Although I think I recall you saying that you wanted to turn that into a business by writing a book.
Yeah, I did want to write a book of rum punches of the Caribbean. I thought the research would be rather fun.
Yeah. Is that going to be your retirement project?
Well, that sounds like fun.
I suppose the whole point of this conversation with people in new business in later life is that, are you planning to retire at all?
Probably not. One of the things with being self-employed is you don't generally have a large pension plan unless you plan it very early.
Yeah.
So I think that's why most people just continue working into their old age. But also it's the type of person who gets into business. If you've got a business mind, you just keep doing business things.
True, and I do find that with my guests generally, that even when they get into their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, they have absolutely no intention to retire. So how do you see yourself in 20 years' time? Do you think you will have given up work?
Well, I think work may change and evolve over that time, but I can see, so I look at my father now.
Yes.
And he's just coming up to 80 this year. And after a period of retirement, he found a tennis club that needed to be run properly. So he's now the chairman of that. And it's one of those things, when you're a business person, you need to keep doing business things.
As you mentioned, you're sort of, I suppose, a bit of a role model in a way. Your father being the chairperson for the tennis club, it's keeping him busy in many different ways. So how do you see yourself keeping yourself intellectually and physically and in every which way busy? Yeah,
well, my routine changed recently. And having watched you develop your routine over the last couple of years and the transformation it's made to you, you would be telling me to, you ought to get this routine, you ought to do this, you ought to do this. And then eventually, with any of these things, we eventually listen and succumb. And I established my own routine. So meditation.
Yes, the meditation is not really up your street. However,
no, that
you
didn't
found
work
your
for
own
me.
way.
Yeah, so for me, we used to go to the health club and sit in the sauna and sit in the steam room. And I found that because you can't take your phone into there's no distractions. You can just single down to what's important and you get that clarity of thinking. You
just suddenly find yourself in your own company with your own thoughts, with your own breath.
Yeah.
And you are able to disconnect from the world. I think in today's world that is so incredibly important, isn't it?
The only negative I've found is I come up with all these amazing ideas as my mind empties and then I have no way of writing them down. So I have to try and remember them afterwards. There was one particular time actually when it was this kind of epiphany moment when it was around about just coming up to New Year.
Yes.
And we went off to the spa. And after the spa session, I just went up to the cafe and I just poured out all these ideas for the year. And I don't normally do that. I don't normally sit down and write a huge amount of stuff.
That sounds fantastic. And I think there's a very important message in there. But I would like to ask on the back of that, though, because I do remember you writing this almost endless kind of to-do list in a way, but wish list for the year and your dreams and targets and goals for the year.
It was kind of a set of rules to live by for the year.
Did you review how you were doing, like during the year and at the end of the year? Did you compare back to that list that you came up with at the end of December?
I did. I went back a number of times and looked, am I doing that? Yes. Am I doing that? Well, I could do a bit better on that. Keep improving that. And okay, probably haven't done any of that. I need to start focusing on that.
Yeah, because basically, well, I sort of have mentioned with a number of guests over the last number of weeks that sort of mental health and spiritual health is not just down to meditation and affirmations, is it?
No.
And I keep actually mentioning your own example that going into a space where you've got no electronic disturbance and you suddenly find yourself with your own thoughts and you're able to concentrate on your breathing, because like in the sauna you have to concentrate on your breathing whether you want it or not.
That was another thing you'd been trying to get me into was
breathing
techniques. And
indeed, and then you find your own way.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to encourage people to do is indeed find their own way, because then the stress management, that mental health management that then manages stress for you becomes so much easier.
Yeah.
And you don't have to meditate, you don't have to affirm. What you need to do is just find your own
Find
thing.
what works for you. So my routine became Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I would get up early and then have a 90-minute focused session.
This is to work on your business?
This is to work on my business. So that's specifically working on the business rather than in it. So doing the tasks which kind of move the needle forward and actually make you progress.
Yeah, because as you mentioned earlier, you are now building that business where you are running the business rather than doing the work.
Yeah. And one of the really important things with those 90-minute sessions is, so on the Sunday, I'll actually write myself a list of these are the sessions. Because if you get into that focus session and you don't, well, what am I going to do today? You get nothing done at all. But if you've got, right, I need to create this advert, or I need to create this a flyer, or I need to do this training, or so I joined an academy for the kitchens and bathrooms. So they help people get off the tools.
Yes, that's quite important, isn't it, to have mentoring? Just if you allow me to step back one about the Sunday planner.
Yes.
Many mentors talk about the Sunday planner, or maybe not on a Sunday or a Friday afternoon, but something at the end of the week. Sort of close off what you've done that week and then plan the next week ahead. I must admit that I myself am trying to introduce something of that kind, but still struggling.
Yes.
But it is a very important message to put across, because what you're saying is that doing the Sunday planner really helps your coming week to focus and not waste time.
One of the things with kitchen fitters and bathroom fitters is they're not really business people. They've got into it through being a trade. So to develop that into a scalable business is not a skill that they have. So with the Academy, as well as having a fantastic range of products, really wide range of products and supports, they do a design service for the kitchens. Right. As well as that, they develop like a 12-step program. So you go through this step to set up your own environment, to give you an environment that you can actually thrive in. And then there's setting up your social media side, there's setting up business practices and how to deliver a good customer experience for people, because they've tried all these things.
Yes.
So it's a really good shortcut to find what works.
Yeah, if you were doing it on your own, and I suppose an awful lot of people are trying to do it on their own, when you don't have these guidelines and all the training sessions, one, take you forever and ever, and two, highly likely you would actually be missing out on so many things and you wouldn't know what to do. So must help you humongously in this next stage of scaling up your business.
It does. As well, on the scaling side, they're really good mentors as well.
Right.
I think it's every 3 months we go up and we have a one-to-one session. I should say one-to-one in the room live session. 40 or 50 of us go along, and then you go through what's holding you back at the moment. And by the time 50 people in the room have gone through all of their things, you realise you're going through exactly the same problems as everybody else. Because one of the things with business that people often don't talk about is it can be very lonely.
That as well, absolutely. That was the reason I started off my networking event, because obviously as sole traders, business owners, we find ourselves working hard at home behind our desk.
It's the same thing with farmers. They spend most of the time sitting in a tractor, not talking to anyone.
Yeah.
So it's really good to have that network around you of people that are going through exactly the same things, and you can learn from them. It's an excellent thing. So they help you focus on what's important. So as some of the going back to the 90-minute sessions, they'll say, right, you need to be working on this or you need to be working on that. And they give you really good pointers of how to deal with it.
Yeah, and you've got these face-to-face sessions every sort of 3 months, don't you?
Yeah.
And yeah, you get these pointers so you can plan your next 3 months, what to focus on to move your business forward.
I come away from that with about 10 pages of notes, which sometimes I get time to look through and sometimes I don't.
No, but what I find, I mean, I'm a notorious note taker. What you do to yourself is obviously you hear it, so it appeals to your audio receptors when you hear it in the room. And then when you write it down, you actually apply muscle memory, but then you have the visual thing as well because you see what you are writing. So effectively...
I think it uses a different part of the brain to write it down. And
and also people take on information in different ways. You've got the audio, the visual, the kinesthetic, the digital, and I think there might be another all combined. But just by simply hearing it, writing it down and seeing what you wrote, you immediately give yourself the information in 3 different ways.
Right.
So your brain has got...
That makes sense.
That much better a chance to remember it. And also, you may not review your notes, but maybe 6 months down the line, something will come up and you think, oh, hang on a minute, this was mentioned in one of the sessions. Let me just go back to your notes. And you will know exactly because you've written it, you've seen what you wrote, you will know exactly which training note it will be in to review it.
Yeah.
So that's how I personally find...
That's if I filed the paper correctly afterwards. It'll be somewhere on my desk.
Yes. Well, yeah, I have a
we all have things we need to get better at.
Yeah. But do you find that your desk is an organised mess?
Well, it is until you tidy it up. I've tidied your desk. Thanks.
I do remember when I was a child, I was probably about 12. I had 2 wardrobes and a desk in between. And it was like probably a 2-foot-high pile of stuff. And my dad used to tell me off all the time that I need to tidy it up and what's this mess and all the rest of it. However, now and again he would come into my room and ask for something like a ruler. And I would reach into the middle of the pile and pull out a ruler because I knew exactly what was on the top of what and where that ruler was.
It's a mess, but it's my mess.
It was my organised mess. And I knew exactly where things were. I'm not entirely sure I could do that now.
Probably not.
But I could now blame it on menopause brain.
Blame an awful lot of things on that.
Yeah, well. So anyway, thank you for sharing the routine that one, obviously mentoring and being part of an academy supports you with.
Yes.
Because you've now implemented the focus sessions 3 times into your week.
To develop that, so my week is Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the focus sessions first thing. And then Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, I go off to the gym first thing, do a bit on the treadmill, go around a few of the machines, and then go into the sauna and spa. So I've getting a bit of physical fitness from there. Because also, as I stop doing the physical work and go more to an office, I don't want to end up as a fat blob, which is
I'm glad to hear.
Fatter blob.
Nah, you're all right.
Then for me, the mental health bit, that my meditation version, is the sauna and the spa. That I find is really, really powerful for getting my thoughts in order. It gives you that clarity that you just don't get. As business people, we just don't stop.
That's true as well. Oh my goodness.
So you give up the 9-to-5 job and end up working 24/7.
Don't I feel like that?
Yes.
But nonetheless, it's still exciting.
It's still exciting.
It's also a bit of a stigma, isn't it? That I automatically went like, oh, don't I feel like that? But at the end of the day, I chose this.
Yes.
And you chose it. And pretty much every person that sits on the sofa with me has chosen this to carry on working because it's exciting.
As you said in your Thursday Thrive this week, your
my big newsletter, yes.
Enjoy the journey.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not about the destination, it's about the way of life. It's about, this is how I live my life.
Yeah, let me share this with the listeners because obviously I've got listeners all around the world, but not everybody gets my newsletter. I had a mentoring session this week with a coach and she helped me with her questions, somehow led me to an epiphany moment where I came to realise that my mum used to tell me things when I was a child, which was kind of along the lines of, are we there yet? And, oh, you don't like the journey because I used to fall asleep in the car. But repeated over years and years, it led me to a place where I really struggled at university, for example, to enjoy and do the design process when I was doing my textile degree. And then now, building a business, I struggle with the day-to-day things because I just want my product, my business to be there and be perfect.
Yes.
And this epiphany moment, realizing where this struggle and block has come from, I'm now able to deal with it and recognize it. So when I come across it, I felt an immediate kind of relief from this, that I can now recognize when this sort of block comes along and just think to myself, no, this is part of the journey. This is the leaves on the tree. This is the flowers on the roadside. And look at it and enjoy it and embrace it.
Your newsletter is a really good read every week. How would everyone else find your newsletter? You say
well, of course, in show notes, all of my contact details are there. So people can sign up to my newsletter via my website.
It's worth signing up to. It's really good.
This will be probably episode 25, 26, thereabout. And I've never mentioned my newsletter to the listeners and people.
Well, there you go. It's really good. It's really good. Everyone who reads it says, that's fantastic.
Thank you. And can I just say that Daniel is not even biased because he doesn't read all of them? Or do you?
I do.
Do you now?
I do.
Thank you. Let's get back to routine and business. So how do you, well, let me see what we covered. So we covered mental health really well. And I'm really pleased with that, especially when I have male guests. Because in my travels and when I ask people about routine, a lot of people do say that they have a physical routine, they go to the gym or do various things or even just walk the dog. Some people, especially in business, do have some level of intellectual routine. Obviously yours is being part of the academy and doing training and bettering your business.
Yeah.
Other people, like myself, I read a lot of books or listen to business development and self-development books. But mental health and spiritual health really drops off people's list. So pleased when I get a chance to discuss something different with people. And mental health is basically stress management.
It is, and it's so crucial because if you're, I mean, in the modern world, you've got your laptop, you've got your iPad, you've got your phone. Everything is just vying for your attention the whole time, and it's glossy, it's shiny, it's high definition, and it grabs your attention. It's all designed to grab your attention, but what that does is it takes your attention away from where it needs to be.
Yes.
Really efficiently.
Yes, quite.
So, I mean, sometimes, we don't watch much TV at all, but I tend to, like, my last thing at night is just a bit of brainless TV. That's also kind of part of my routine.
I suppose, yeah.
A bit of brainless TV to dump all the thoughts out of the mind. Otherwise, I get into bed and go, bing.
Yeah, again, it's just another reflection on how you have to find the way that suits you. Because my way is that if I watch the television, it just makes me so tired that I'm struggling the next morning. So even when I go to bed and don't go to sleep immediately, cherish the fact that at least my body is resting.
Yes.
Even if my mind takes a while to switch off, it can take up to an hour to switch off. But I rest my body, I'm laying there in the dark, and I'm able to switch off.
If I time it right, when I go to bed, I fall asleep within about 10 seconds.
Lucky you.
That's the best way.
As I say, I'm sort of quite happy that I'm resting in the dark and not being influenced and do breathing techniques to shut my mind down. But I appreciate that time. That again, I spend, it's kind of like reflecting on your sauna time.
So the other thing with the routine is it's really important to keep doing it every day and not, even if, I had a chest infection recently and I couldn't do the work in the gym, but I still, as it was improving a little bit, I got into the gym and just did some walking on the treadmill instead of running, and just doing light things, but you're doing something of that routine.
That is so incredibly important.
If you miss the thing twice, that becomes the new routine, but you're not doing it.
People need to be double careful because it's like one day you might not feel it. And again, this is something I can sort of say I preach about, that it's not the motivation. We go completely wrong with that. It's not a motivation you need, it's the determination you need to get it done, instead of letting the lack of motivation think, I just miss it today. And then the next day, because you haven't done it, you don't have the motivation from the aftermath, the good feel, then it's even harder.
Your cold shower the other day, you're just like, no, I can't do this morning. And then, nope, I need to do it.
Yeah.
And just do it. And once you've started, it's, I would say, simple then. I don't think I could stand in the cold shower for 3 minutes.
The thing is, after about a minute, it feels is warm. That's when it becomes enjoyable. And the third minute is even better.
I'm quite happy to do it as I come out of the sauna and have a 30-second cold shower after that. That's fine. It's really good. And it's made a huge difference in my life.
I'm really pleased to hear it, because going back some years, you hated the thought of going to a gym, and then now you willingly go. As you just said, you realise the benefits of it.
Yeah.
The physical.
Yeah. And once I started running, that you shut everything else out.
Each and every one of these things, the physical health, mental health, spiritual health, they're not just isolated health areas. Every single one of them feeds into another.
Yeah.
So going running, you switch off. You don't probably don't think of business, do you?
No. Or if you do, you think of some really good things rather than just I must remember to do that invoice, or I must remember to send off that quote.
And also, again, you're not being influenced by all the digital gadgets around you.
Yeah.
Or have you found anything for your spiritual health which effectively links to your values, your life values, your business values?
Not really. I think the closest I come to that is the sitting in the steam room and doing the kind of breathing exercises, and it just there's a calmness that you get from that, whether that's anything to do with spirituality or not. I'm not a terribly spiritual person, which you might have noticed.
Well, I'm sure it could be developed.
Well,
but yeah, I personally link those sort of sauna sessions to the mental health area of life.
Yeah.
Because that is kind of the stress management where your thoughts get purified, and then that helps you be more focused in your life and in your business. So your stress levels are down, so you're able to operate at a much more optimum level.
So what do you do for your spiritual?
Well, I personally love my meditation practice. So it starts with obviously just getting into a state of mind where you relax your body, you let your muscles relax. I personally do it outside, and I love sitting facing the sun.
That was a revelation for you, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. A little over a year ago, somebody suggested for me to do a bit more grounding, which is kind of just be outside. And I decided to take my meditation practice outside. And yeah, sitting facing the sun is just beautiful in the morning. So that alone...
Often in the winter, completely wrapped up in a blanket with a...
Yes, indeed. I
with
carried
a full
it all...
hood and... But you look very happy in it.
Yeah. Then there is breath work.
Yep.
So again, to calm the whole body, the mind, and helps with the focus. And then every day, because I follow a lady called Molly, and every day there is a topic for the meditation practice, and she asks questions, gives time to think about it. And often it's very emotional for me, and I end up crying. These real deep emotions get released when I think about the answers to these questions, because what I do is I notice the journey that I've been on in the last few years, because we got into business together 3 years ago. And then since then, I've been doing a lot of self and business development. And I know exactly how far I've come and how much better life and how much different life is now. And it releases some real deep emotions for me.
Yeah.
And that's where I sort of ground myself with my own life and business values.
Yeah,
and on other occasions, it gets a lot more spiritual, which some people might call woo-woo, but still, it's whatever. I associate, and sometimes, there's all sorts of differences. I know I don't make a secret of it, I'm not religious. And then maybe other people don't believe in what they might call it woo-woo. But the whole point is that you spend time with yourself.
Yeah.
You pray or manifest or say or whatever you want to call it to a greater...
And it's almost talking to yourself, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's part of self-development. And then at the end, just say a few words of gratitude to yourself for gifting. I love gifting myself those 10 minutes for my meditation practice.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it because I personally feel that it refills my cup every single day.
Yeah, so even if you have a bad day, things go wrong, then the next day it's almost like hitting the reset, isn't it?
Absolutely. I totally hit the reset. Have I inspired you to maybe look into something? It doesn't need to be meditation at all.
Yeah, I've always found that I was not analytical very much, that I just didn't analyse myself too much. Probably working on that would be a good start.
So let's start a little bit. What are your life and business values?
I don't know. I don't analyse it. So my business values, for example, with Cornflower, I give people the kind of the personal service that they know that, you know, anything they talk to me on it, and we have a bit of a laugh as well. I do try and make a joke out of anything, sometimes completely inappropriately.
Apparently, I'm the long-suffering wife. But hey,
yeah, generally, if a joke comes to mind, then I will say it and then think afterwards whether I should have said it or not. But I can't help that. I think that's just one
Humor
of those.
Is good.
That's just me.
Humor is good, and I think that's exactly why people like you, or one of the reasons why people like you.
So, quality, service, one port of call. You know, a lot of companies, a lot of kitchen companies, oh, there's something missing. I need to phone up the thing. Oh, right, hang on, go through the switchboard and find somebody. That's not me. You talk to me every time. So
Yes.
the personal service, the quality, different way of thinking about things as well. So I came from an engineering background. For example, somebody wanted a drawer to put baking trays and things on, and now there wasn't anything standard in the cupboard in the brochure
range, right?
that would have worked in their particular kitchen. They had quite a tight kitchen, so I made a drawer that fitted and rolled under the plinth, and it was. And afterwards, he said that was one of his favourite bits of the kitchen.
Yeah, it's interesting how these quirky little things become your favourite.
So that, and we managed to fit in a magnet charger for his phone, so he can just pop his phone and it sticks to the wall and charges it. All the rest of the kitchen,
brilliant.
he's just like, well, I'm not worried about that. I can just charge my phone there.
Yes. 21st century problems. But yeah, so your top value
Yeah.
is the personal service.
I think that would be
provide.
the number one. And the quality, I need to offer a quality product, and I'm really happy with the range we've got. It's absolutely fantastic. But it kind of covers all bases. So we've got the highest quality range that could go in a country house. You just marry it with proper stone worktops rather than laminate ones, and you've made the leap up to that standard. But then we do the trade ranges as well, and everything in between. So we can be the most competitive value on the market for the trade range.
Right.
So we deliver nationwide for landlords and developers and builders. So we do that nationwide. But then for the installation services, we do that probably within about an hour's range of Plymouth. We can go further, but it means getting a team that we trust to install it, because trust is everything on these things.
Yeah, you've got your connections in your network now,
Yeah.
haven't you?
And it takes a long time to build your reputation up, but you can destroy it very quickly by people who don't have your values.
That's an interesting point you made yourself, that it is very important to always be very aware of your values.
Yeah.
Because you need to make sure that you work with people who match that.
I mean, sometimes you have to work with someone on a project before you find out how they actually are.
Yeah, that's true.
But
obviously.
then making the changes quickly. So if that doesn't work, then you have to find someone else for that.
I recall a podcast from a tradesperson a couple of years ago we listened to together, and he was asked the question, what would you do differently if you could go back to the start of your business? And he said, hire quick and fire even quicker.
Yeah, don't put up with people that don't hold your values, because they will drag your organisation down. It's like, I don't have an office with lots of people, but if you have one negative person in that office, they will drag everyone down to their level.
That just reminds me of the saying that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And I think as business people, if we want to make our business successful, we really need to concentrate on making sure that every single chain link is as strong as the other.
Yeah, surviving is not enough in business. You need to be thriving and kind of pushing it on to the next level all the time.
I was going to ask you, but I think you sort of got into it quite early on in the conversation of where do you see yourself in 5, 10, 15 years? Where do you see your company developing?
Even as I get older and probably more wise
Oh.
as I get older, visiting the customers and doing the home surveys. So I don't have a showroom. What I do is I have loads and loads of samples find out what the customer thinks they want, which is often not what they end up with. But
Okay, that's interesting.
once you start looking at samples, it's quite often different to what they thought they wanted.
That's really interesting. And is that a recurring thing?
Yeah, I mean, I can think of one straight off the bat that they wanted glossy white flat units. By the time we'd finished, they'd gone Scandinavian style with wood grain doors on everything, which looked 100% different from what they thought they wanted in the first time.
Absolutely.
Part of the personal service is just being patient with people and getting to exactly what they want.
How do you dig into that sort of depth of what they really want? What do you do?
You
Have
spend a bit of time
technique?
around the kitchen, for example. The bathroom, people use bathrooms vaguely the same. Some might put makeup on in there, someone might not, but generally...
You go to get clean.
Yeah. So, but a kitchen is very much more an integral space it's the heart of the home.
True.
So you've got to get it right. And with these projects, you've got to get it right first time.
Yes, absolutely, because you get a kitchen for what, 12, 15 years?
So planning that is really important. So there's certain things that we come across time after time that this would be a good idea to think about. That would be a good idea to think about. Don't stick your dishwasher next to a wall because as you put something in there, it splashes all the stuff down the wall. Lots of little bits and pieces, and have the lighting all around because you'll regret it later if you don't. I mean, even in our own kitchen,
Yes,
you didn't want the lighting on the other side, and we had to end up installing something else. So you learn things as you go along, but the important bit is just letting people tell you how they use the space, what they want from the space, what they'd ideally like, how they'd ideally like to use it. If you have an island, for example, people put the sink on there. Really, what you want is the cooker on there, because then if you've got a diner there as well and guests there, you're facing your guests while you're cooking rather than with your back to them.
That's so true. And actually, we stayed in a house, didn't we, where they've got this massive, beautiful island.
Yes.
And indeed, it's the sinks and the dishwashers that are built into the island.
Yeah.
And behind it is this lovely round table, and the cooker would be so much better suited.
Yeah.
That is such a good idea. So basically, you listen to your customers, and then you use your expertise, knowing your
to
products,
guide them. Have you thought about this? And I think this would work really well for you. And you think you want that, but I don't necessarily think that's the best use of space for that. Yeah. And certain trends come along. Sometimes they're short-lived, and you can tell that they're short-lived. Thankfully, grey seems to be starting to go, and people are starting to think about more interesting colours. So that's good.
Yeah, that's good. I certainly welcome that.
You know, if people want a grey kitchen, of course, they can have a grey kitchen. And we have about 4 or 5 different shades of grey.
Not 15 or 50.
But I would, for me, I'd always want a statement rather than just grey. Grey blends in and disappears into the background.
True. So would you encourage people to have a statement kitchen, or
if it's what they want? If they don't want it, it's got to be down to their style. It's like, I mean, I'm in a fairly muted shirt today, but I've got a wardrobe full of very loud shirts.
Yes.
And it's just bright and colourful and cheerful and happy.
It brightens your own life. I love wearing colourful clothes for exactly the same reason. Yeah.
It's got to be what people want. It's not about me saying, oh, I think this would be great, because I don't have to live with it.
That's so true. Absolutely. And, working in a home improvement business, and I've worked with you for quite a while in that home improvement business. Occasionally, I think the most outstanding one is when I had to paint a bedroom wall, a feature wall, raspberry dark pink.
Yeah.
And then the lady asked me at the end, do you like it? I mean, it was a beautiful colour. I would never have put it in a bedroom. But my response was, do you like it? Is this what you wanted? Yes. Do you like it? Yes. Then it's got nothing to do with me. I'm very happy. I did a good job of it.
Yes.
It looks beautiful.
Yep.
And if you like it, then it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're quite right on that one.
Often there's little points, like they don't realise just how many sockets that they really like. So there was a sink across here. There was another unit with an oven across there. And they said, we don't need a plug in that corner. But you haven't got a plug anywhere in that corner. Let's put one in. And then afterwards, just like, I'm really glad you put that in, because now I can plug this in or that in, or
Yeah, and you end up with new appliances as well.
yes, yeah. I mean, who would have known air fryers would have become a thing?
Yeah.
So things come along that you didn't realise that you needed before.
So what are your business ambitions?
For me, the trade side is really important, and we do a lot of networking and being in property as well. We know a lot of property people, a lot of landlords. So developing the trade side of that, whereby nationwide we can deliver fantastic quality kitchen at the most amazing value that they can get anywhere around. Most people who've got a builder doing or a carpenter doing these works, they can generate the plans of the room.
Yes, absolutely.
So we then take that away, do the design, or the really high definition visuals that almost just look like a picture. I've got some that the finished kitchen and the visual for it, they look virtually identical. It's
that sounds brilliant.
It's really good. Yeah, the quality of that is fantastic. It lets people visualize it, and sometimes at that point, that's the point where they go, not sure about that. It's not quite
Well, I suppose
sitting.
that is exactly the whole point of having a visual plan to give to the customer to say, right, so imagine something in...
It's a lot cheaper than changing it once you've installed it.
I suppose it is. Well, don't suppose it is.
We've got a fantastic team of contractors now who are doing a fantastic job, and like you say, share our values.
I mean, one of your contractors I do know, and listening to him, it's like listening to you.
Yeah.
You share
a
your
younger
values.
version of me, thankfully.
What I meant was that you share your values down to the T, don't you?
Yeah, and that's why it works. That's
Absolutely.
why it works. Yeah,
So
and
good work
he's a really
relationships.
good problem solver as well. That if things come up, he will come up with a solution often before I have. So the other side I want to develop, which I think could be really good, is we've got a fantastic bathroom range, really high quality products, amazing stuff. We're going to develop that into a website so that members of the public or trades can just log onto that and buy that over the internet. So that will widen our net considerably.
That sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
So you've got a few future plans in the
And
pipeline.
I'm hoping with that one to work with my son on that, because he's done quite a lot of web development in the past. He can do all of the things that I don't have the faintest idea how to do.
Yeah, and he gets very excited whenever he's asked the question,
Yes.
anything to do with IT.
Yes.
He opens up and gives you a ton of information.
Anything else, it's one word answers. But you ask him about computers and things, it's like, you need to do more in computers, because this is your thing.
Absolutely. I mean, that would be fantastic if you developed like some kind of work where you can work together with your son.
Yeah, definitely.
Bit of a family business.
Well, yeah, and which
But I
is
suppose
where I came from as well.
That's what I was going to say. That's how you started. Your parents brought you into the family business.
There's good things and there's bad things about family business. Thankfully, I get on incredibly well with my family. So
yes.
Even my sister now, who as we grew up, we weren't the closest as we grew up, but now, I mean, that's another thing we do for our kind of mental and physical health, is going for nice long walks. I'll go out with my sister and take really nice long walks.
And of course, we go out on Sundays. Actually, that's something that I've not even brought into my own equation and talk about my routine.
Yeah, and we have badminton that we play every week.
Yes, there are weekly things. It's not just the daily routines, but your weekly, monthly, even annual routines that you build into your life and your business.
Yeah.
And indeed, every Sunday we go for a nice walk.
In my plan that I made that New Year's Eve, I think it was, a monthly long hike with my sister was up there. And I'm not sure whether we're quite on for one a month, but we did a 2-day walk along the coast path. Yeah. And that was fantastic.
I mean, we are super lucky to be living in the southwest of England, where
it's just beautiful,
country
especially
walks
this time
are
of
in
year.
Abundance.
Yeah.
And beautiful walks are in abundance indeed.
Over recent years, my sister and I have got considerably closer, and we can thoroughly enjoy each other's company out on a walk now.
So the family values have improved.
Definitely, very much so. And the older you get, the more you realise how important that is.
Are you thinking of retirement? But of course, at 50, 51, you are still very, very young, and you've only just started this new business that you're going to be building for many years to come.
When I was 25, I had the goal that I was planning to retire by 30. That didn't quite work.
No. But then, can you see yourself retiring?
No, I think so that is the idea of a 25-year-old that you just want to retire as soon as possible.
You don't
And
wanna
then the
work.
more you realise that this is how I am, I need to be doing things, otherwise, what do you get out of bed for in the morning if you're
Yeah.
if
And
you're not doing that?
certainly not the kind of person who doesn't do things.
No, constantly doing things. But also that gives you an energy as well. So, I mean, we've been, over the last couple of weeks, we've been looking at a whole new business again,
Yes.
that are buying into a business. And that really makes you feel alive, that we could do
Totally.
this, we could do that, and working out the figures for this. And there's just an entrepreneurial mindset that you just get into, or you just have. And
That's a really interesting
you just feed
point.
that. And if you don't feed that, then that's, I think, when you go downhill.
Can we just pick on that a little bit? So I obviously know, and you mentioned it already as well, that you kind of got into business at the age of 18 and you had your own factory at 25, was it?
By the time I was 25, I had 28 employees.
So your parents, how old were you when your parents started up their own business?
I would have been about 13.
So you were fairly young and at that kind of moldable
But also
age.
help them in the setup, in as much as, so they were working long hours. So at 13, I was making the dinners so that when they came home from work, they would have a dinner to eat so they didn't have to worry about that. I would then go in at the weekends and I'd be doing resin castings for them. And so you just get into that mindset of...
But this is exactly what I was trying to get to. Do you think that by seeing your parents set up their business, so your dad came out of corporate at the age of around 40, if I remember right,
Yeah,
or
something like
thereabout,
that, yeah.
so came out of corporate employment and decided, I could do this for myself, and they set up a factory, a company. So at that moldable age, when you were a teenager, and you were opening up to the world, suddenly you saw them stand on their own feet and then make a real success of their life and their business. Whether some of it was down to some amount of luck where they did the right thing at the right time.
Yeah,
But
there was definitely an element of that, because the type of products we made, for example, the most profitable items were carvings for fireplaces and furniture.
Right.
Whereas, and at the time, every fireplace had all these mouldings on it.
Yes.
Every bit of furniture had decorative everything all over it. So there was all stuff we could make. If you look at furniture now, it's all
Quite
plain.
simplistic, yes, and grey.
People don't have much in the way of fireplaces even now.
True,
But
true,
the
they're
ones
being
that
taken
are,
out.
there's no decoration on them whatsoever. So the most profitable element of that company was definitely hit at the right time.
So they certainly did the right thing at the right time, and they were very successful. But you got roped into it or willingly took part in it. Some could be listening to this and think, oh my goodness, at 13 you had to cook dinner for your parents. But it could be seen either way.
Happy to help. And
you had to grow up quickly, but you actually took part in family life.
A family business it's all about teamwork. So that was the bit I could do to help.
So you learned some really incredibly valuable lessons
at
a young age.
By 14 or so, I was there. I was making benches for the casters and with extraction hoods that opened up and closed, and
I suppose your engineering vein was already
ignited before I went off and became an engineer. Yeah.
So it kind of sheds light on the fact that your environment as a child can have a major effect on you. Either way, whether you just get into that sort of society set rule of you have to learn and work hard and do this and do that, while your example was something different. And no, I can leave corporate, I can do this, and I can be my own boss and be successful with it.
Yeah.
So then you run with it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and as a young age, you see this can work, and if we do things and work hard, you can make decent money doing it, and then you invest that money well, but also you get out of that, you can do exciting things.
Yes.
So, I mean, as at the age of, I think I was 15, and I had the absolute pleasure of going on Concorde.
Yes.
And it still amazes me that you can't do that today. But we just went on a kind of just an exciting little flight for a couple of hours. literally flew out over the Bay of Biscay and then up over the North Sea and doing Mach 2, and it was just absolutely fantastic. Amazing how small the plane was and how noisy it was. But apart from that, it was pretty incredible.
An amazing experience.
When you realise you're doing things that only a fighter jet pilot normally does.
It's quite amazing how your parents exposed you to these experiences through making the decision of coming out of corporate employment.
Yes.
And taking that massive leap to live out their dreams of doing something for themselves.
Yeah.
And taking an opportunity that presented itself to them at the time. I think we are sort of touching on some really huge messages here.
Yeah.
And I think for me, in my own heart, this is one of the major messages I want to put across with this podcast. And I truly hope that people listen to it who are in corporate, who have been following society's rules in their lives, but they are nurturing a dream that they want to do something, they are passionate about something, and they don't dare to take that leap.
Yeah.
Because they are worried about what society will say.
Yeah.
And you were exposed to that at that sort of age of 13, that don't worry about it, son. You could do something else. You could do it differently. And if you take that opportunity, if you put your passion into it, if you put your time and effort and hard work, because you can give that hard work to yourself, or you can give that hard work to an employee. And waste it away. If you turn it to yourself, then you can be free of all sorts.
But
Swapping the 9 to 5 to a 24/7, but you do it for yourself.
Yeah.
It's so different.
But once you've done it once, you realise the sky's the limit. I can do this with anything. Once you've done business of some sort, it's all transferable skills to another business.
That's true as well.
Which is where entrepreneurs come from, and eventually become entrepreneurs.
Yeah. That's my little wordplay, Uncorpreneur, the Uncorpreneurs Club, the 50-plus entrepreneurs who just keep going again and again.
And again, and again, and again. And then develop new things. And
I bring in my culture into this one because that's my determination fuel.
Yeah.
So I have my culture, is every single morning it's something hard that I do.
Yeah. If I can do this, I can do anything.
If I can do this, I can do anything. And then I go out to my office and sit down and do hard things that I've never done before. And I know I need to learn it to move my business forward.
You're doing amazing things.
Thank you.
And I see you working so hard on these things day after day.
And so do you.
Really proud of you.
Thank you. We're going all emotional here. On that lovely little note, is there anything else you would like to share?
I think just that message of, you can do it.
Absolutely.
You can do it. Why do it for someone else? Because there's responsibility with it, and there's a lot of effort, but there's a real purpose to it. Yeah. And I think you get to a point and you go, what if? What if I don't do this?
I keep hearing that more and more often from various mentors that I follow and coaches that I follow, that when you've got that idea that you could put out into the world, and of course your monkey brain is telling you all the time, oh, you can't do this because you need to be scared of it because, and it comes up with a zillion reasons in your head. But it's like you can't afford not to help people with whatever product and service you are offering.
Yeah.
Because what you do is you take away.
One of my customers asked me, oh, could you give me a hand with this? And it was just a bit of garden furniture that was arrived in a box that they couldn't take out of the box. And I said, oh yeah, no problem at all, I'll help you with that. And then she tried to, it took me 10 minutes. And she tried to give me £20. And I said, oh, no, I can't charge you £20 for 5 or 10 minutes work. Oh no, it's just so I appreciate it. Well, I said, I know you appreciate it, but this is a good thing for me that I've done this, and it's important to me that I give back.
Yeah, so, there are still things called a favour.
Yeah.
I read about this all the time with all the self-development and business development, and there's this rhythm to the world. You give and you receive, and you give and you receive, and the more you give, the more you receive. And
give without expecting to receive.
Yes.
That's kind of important as well, because if you're expecting, well, I've done this for you, so you need to do that for me.
Yeah, I get you.
So it's give freely and things will come back. The world has a habit of throwing things back at you when you need them.
Thank you very much for joining me on the sofa. It's been a little bit strange interviewing my own husband, I must admit.
Yeah.
Because obviously I know a lot about you, but the listeners don't, so I had to conduct the conversation accordingly. But nonetheless, it's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been very interesting from my point of view because I watch the episodes and on YouTube and I listen to them on Spotify and I'm constantly like, oh, you could do this, you could do that, you could do that. And then sitting here, it's very difficult. You just have a conversation.
Exactly. This is what we do. Just have a conversation and pass good ideas and encouragement onto our listeners.
Well, I think that can only be a good thing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Daniel. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you for listening to New Business in Later Life with me, Ildiko Sealey, where we say no to slowing down and yes to starting up. Loved what you've heard? Please share it or screenshot it and tag me on socials. Let's show the world what thriving in later life really looks like and share with a friend who is ready for their next chapter. Please subscribe so you are always in the loop. And if you were ready to stop running on empty and start running on purpose, come join us. All the links are waiting in the show notes, including my guests' contacts, the Uncorpreneurs Club, and a few tools and services I personally use in my business to help you thrive in yours. Until next time, refuel, refocus, reinvent.